Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battle.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com.
And it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to quit.
Okay, so this video is probably going to be, if not the most important video I've ever made, it's definitely going to be in the top 3.
Swear that you will stay.
So there was a video that I made a while back. I thought it was a few months back, but apparently it was a lot further back than I thought. It was before the surge of people coming onto my channel, the views going up, the subscribers going up, and it's the most important video that I've made, because there's something that happened to you and you never understood what it was, and it was confusing and it ripped your heart and soul out, and you thought your life was over. You thought you would never see the light of day again. You never thought you'd see the joy in life again. And I'm going to explain to you what they did, how they did it, and it's not true. So the reason why I'm remaking is because that video only got 65 views as of about a week ago. When I realized that, I was like, oh, because I did a coaching session with someone. I brought up the issue, and I just had assumed she had seen the video, and she's like, and understood this concept, and she's like, no, I don't remember anything like that at all. And then I talked to a couple other people, like, no. So I went back and looked at it, and it only had 65 views, and I was like, oh, no wonder. So back in April, to me, it was really fun to do. I was actually in my car and using I have an iPhone 13, and I had a lot of fun using that camera, but I think the audio didn't, even though it was clear, I don't think people enjoyed the audio or something, or maybe it was the visual. So I'm going to remake it as best I can. I will leave a link to it, or at the very end, I'll probably connect it into the video where you can just click on it from the video. Alright, so I'm just going to dive in. It's going to start out rough, but I have a feeling at the very end it's going to come together very, very well. Alright, so here we go. So here's what happened, okay? They used the love bombing phase to do something that no one's ever talked about, and something that you guys don't quite understand. You think, oh yeah, they love bomb me. But what did they do inside the love bombing phase? There's something that you don't understand. It is the very thing that destroyed you. They literally neurologically hijacked your entire nervous system. I'm not joking. It's just like something we do to computers when we need to check the hard drive or the solid state drive to make sure it's working correctly. And I'll explain that as we move along here.
Oh no.
Alright, so I'm going to explain the ending first so your brain knows what direction we're going into, okay? Alright, so this is called starting with the big picture, okay? We're going to work into the details and we're going to come back out. Alright, into the bigger picture. Alright, so essentially what they did was they literally, it's like plugging in an external hard drive. They hijacked your nervous system, your processor, let's say, your emotional processor, okay? And they began to run it on an external hard drive outside of your system, okay? So then what they did was they began to turn you against yourself. See, the number one goal of a narcissist is to hijack your system. Why? What's their purpose? Their purpose really is what it's all about. It's so they can begin to slowly turn you against yourself, against your values, against your beliefs, against your rules, against the food you like, against the hobbies you like, against the career that you want to do. They take everything and they turn you against it, thus turning you against yourself and thus destroying you. When they have completely hijacked your system and they've rewired you, and this is what they're doing. They are literally rewiring you to go against yourself. So once they can see that you're fighting against yourself on everything that you used to love, like, and be passionate for. It could even include your children, a spouse, a job, anything. When they see that your system is taken over and you are now attacking yourself, they literally let go, they sit back and they laugh because they have literally successfully destroyed you, because now you are attacking you and they don't have to lift a finger anymore. Now at this point, they literally sit back, they laugh, they're very proud of their work, by the way. And one of the goals, if they've really done it successfully, is they will successfully get you to commit suicide. And yes, that is one of the goals. So if you have been in that space of being suicidal, don't do it. Keep watching my videos, keep learning, keep understanding, because a big part of the healing process is in understanding what the hell is going on. And then you start to realize, go, wait a minute, I'm not the bad person. I'm not a monster. I'm not this. No, you were just being surrounded by narcissists because you couldn't identify them. So you just started to think, oh, this is the way everyone is. No, I absolutely assure you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, not everyone is like this. There are a lot of good people out there that actually do care. The number one thing, though, is you have to care about you. You have to block bad people out of your life, period, end of sentence. Okay, so here's how they hijack your system, and I will explain that in a computer technology form of way that will really get your brain to go, oh, I see what he's talking about. It'll be very clear. First, though, we're going to talk about something called matching and mirroring. It's an NLP technique. It's used to gain rapport, it's like opening the door, which gains clarity, okay? What they're doing is slightly different. It's more coming from the lower reptilian brain. They're mirroring you the way a baby would, okay? So the same thing would be like when a duck is first born. It imprints on you. Humans do the same thing. When we are first born, we imprint on the people that are around us, mostly our parents. So without going any further into that, I want to say something. I want to make this crystal clear. This whole thing that I'm going to explain to you is the number one technique a narcissist uses to absolutely destroy you, okay? This is why, for most of us who went through this, we were completely, utterly destroyed. It was traumatic. It was, you couldn't go outside. You didn't even want to go to work. And when you did go to work, you completely shut down. You just felt like life was over. You felt so horrible, and that's why it's important to understand this, because here's the deal. When I started putting these pieces together, I was like, oh, I'm going to cuss here, forgive me. But I was like, oh, motherfucker. Oh, I see what you fuckers are doing now. See, the more you see it, the more you can be like, oh, I see what they're doing, and you can laugh in their face, and you can turn this all around on them. And that's what I want to explain at the very end of this. There's something that you can do without doing a damn thing to them at all, but it will affect them massively, and it will absolutely rip them to shreds and put them through absolute hell. And the thing about it is, you're not doing anything to them at all. It's something that they did. It's like, let me explain it at the end. I'll explain it later. Okay, so first thing you have to understand what imprinting is. It's a little bit different than matching and mirroring that you learn in NLP. Matching and mirroring is done on a conscious level. You know who you are, you know who they are. Little infants, baby ducks, and other animals, when they are first born, they automatically imprint. They can't help it. A narcissist is stuck in the lower reptilian brain just like a baby when it's first born. This is the first brain we use and develop. So imprinting is like you are recording video and recording audio. You're looking at their facial expressions, their body language, listening to the tone, and you're recording everything, and then you begin to feed it back to your parents. And this is why your parents fall in love with you, because you are literally being who they are, and everyone on an unconscious level loves themselves. And that is a key component that actually, once we get past this, you're going to understand this is a really good thing. Something that you did was you thought you fell in love with a narcissist. No, you didn't. You actually fell in love with yourself because they hooked up an external hard drive, and now you thought that they were you on a very unconscious level. And this is the reason why you want a narcissist to come back, because you want this person to love you, because you think that that's your unconscious mind. You think that's your emotional system. It is not. It was something they did. It's called It's literally called mirror magic for a reason. Alright, so matching and mirroring is really simple. Okay, I want you guys to raise your left hand. Okay, I'm going to raise my right hand. So if you're facing me, that would be like you're looking in a mirror. The same hand on the same side goes up in the mirror. This is called mirroring. Now matching would be if you left your left hand up and then in the mirror you saw the other hand go up. So if I was matching you, I would raise my left hand. Now it's on the other side. Your left hand is up, my left hand is up. This is called matching. Now what matching and mirroring does is it gains rapport, unconscious rapport with your unconscious mind, okay? This allows communication to flow better, to have better clarity and understanding. So when you don't have rapport with someone, it's like this big, heavy, thick door is closed, and they're screaming or talking loud, and you're like, what? And you can't understand them. But when you gain rapport through body language and there's a bunch of other ways to do it. All of a sudden, it's like the door opens up. You're like, oh, I can hear you now. I can hear you with clarity. Now in NLP we're taught to do this in therapy because you have to gain rapport with people's unconscious minds to help them to heal therapeutically, okay? Now you can also use this for sales techniques. Now there's something ethically that they teach us, okay? Something that's very ecological. Very ecological, okay? Very healthy for everyone involved, including the planet, okay? So here's the deal. When someone is going to, let's say you're a car salesman and they found the car they wanted, the style, the type, all the extras, the right price, the right interest, etc. And they say, yes, I'm willing to buy this car and make the agreement for all of this. So here's the deal though. When you go to bring them the contract and have them sign it, you need to be matching them. Because otherwise, now watch this. Alright, so when you're matching someone, their thoughts are their thoughts, okay? But when you mirror someone, it's like their unconscious mind thinks that you are them. Just like when you're looking in the mirror. When you look in a physical mirror, you're like, well, yeah, that's me. So when you're talking, you know that you're talking. So guess what? When someone is mirroring you and they're talking, your unconscious mind believes that whatever they're saying was your idea, even though it wasn't. It's them talking, not you. So when someone goes to sign a contract, if you're mirroring them while you're talking to them, telling them it's a great idea, and yeah, this is this and that, they're going to think that it was their idea. Now, this is what happens, is it will cause, what do they call it, B-backs or buybacks? Forgive me if I'm not using the right sales technique. What happens is a day later, 24 hours to 42 to 72 hours later, eventually they're like, wait a minute, why did I agree to this contract? Sometimes they literally won't even remember signing it. They'll be like, I don't remember signing this contract for this amount of money. Why would I do that? That's stupid. And they'll come back. Now in the state of California, I think most states in the country, there is a grace period, and I don't know, I've actually forgot how long it is, but there's a certain period of time that they can come back and say, hey, I don't want to do this deal, and then boom, they can basically return the car, return an item, and you have to give them their money back, okay? Alright, so here's what I'm trying to say. When narcissists mirror you, unconsciously, you think that what they're saying and doing and their facial expressions, you think that it's you, okay? You might be like, no, I never thought. Yeah, you did. I'm not saying consciously. I don't mean your forehead, your ego up in the front. I'm talking about your unconscious nervous system. Technically, your emotional nervous system.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed.
That's why in the beginning, when they were love bombing you and telling you you're beautiful, you're amazing, and introducing you to all your friends like you were Jesus and you walked on water and you could turn water into wine and you could do all these amazing things, that's why you felt so good, because you thought that it was you complimenting you, and we all love ourselves.
Do we say goodbye?
And that's the good news. I made a video, it was something titled like, I think it was something like, if you fell in love with a narcissist, there's some good news here. And the good news is you never fell in love with them. You fell in love with you. And when you really realize that, you're going to go, wait a minute. So, yep, you never fell in love with them. Okay? So then you start to realize you can turn this whole thing around. I mean, imagine if you would look in the mirror and you would love bomb yourself and say you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, and highlight everything that you like about yourself and do it all the time to the extent and the degree that the narcissist did. You would instantly, well, maybe not instantly, it may take a couple days or even a couple weeks, but you would begin to open up to yourself on such a deep level that you never even knew existed. This is a healthy form of self-love. The unhealthy form of self-love is when you want other people to tell you that you're beautiful, that you're this, and that you're great, and that they love you. That is egotistical love. That is not love. Healthy love is when you have self-love. When you have self-love, now you can love other people. If you don't have self-love, guess what? You can't love other people. Okay, so love bombing has one real purpose, okay? It's funny because no one else talks about this, and I find it unusual. In fact, I don't think I've ever heard anyone use the idea of hijacking your system. Alright, so here's what I mean. So a long time ago, I had an Apple computer that just was not functioning. It was a new computer, it didn't work. And so here's what they did. They plugged it in with one thing, like it kind of looked like this. And they ran it they were running tests through it. And then the final test was they literally, this is called an external hard drive, okay? What they did was they would plug it in and they would run your computer through the external hard drive. Now, if your computer works and functions perfectly, that's how they know, like, oh, you have a bad hard drive. All we need to do is replace your hard drive. And then what they do is they unplug it and they take it in the back, and, you know, might take a day or two. They might do it right then. And they replace it with a new hard drive, and boom, it's up and working. It works great. So the purpose for love bombing is for you to eventually begin to look at this person and on an unconscious level think that that is you. So it's like, it's literally, within the love bombing phase, they mirror you, they mirror you to death. So in the stalking phase, it's usually before they meet you. They will follow you to stores and ask people, what did they buy? Oh, okay. And they might even say, oh, I really like this person. I want to surprise them and buy the same thing for them or whatever. And they'll go on your social media and they'll look at the music you like and the teams you like, and they'll like play the same song on their cell phone, like for the ringer. And you'll be like, oh my God, that's my favorite song. Like, oh my God, me too. No, they probably never even heard of that song before. So they mirror you with everything. They'll take you to your favorite restaurant. You'll be like, oh my God, this is my favorite restaurant. No. And then they'll say, oh, really? It's my favorite restaurant too. No, it is not their favorite restaurant. They're lying to you. What they're doing is every single form of mirroring that they can do to you. They match and mirror you. They talk the way you talk. They'll start dressing the way you dress. They'll start eating the food you like. They'll start using the certain values and beliefs that you have and all kinds of stuff. They will match and mirror everything as much as possible. They are literally being a mirror. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the most beautiful of them all? So they are mirroring you to be like this external hard drive to eventually, on an unconscious level, whatever they say, you think that it's you that is saying it. This is really, really important to understand what they're doing. So here's what happens, okay? So what they do is once they start to realize, like, okay, I think I've got this person unconsciously basically on my system. So now what I can do is I can start telling them what to think, what to believe, what to dress, what's right, what's wrong. And your unconscious mind goes, well, that's true. That's what I think. It's not what you think. It's what they think. In fact, it's not even what they think. They're just finding out what you like, what you believe, what your values are, and they turn you against all of that, thus turning you against you. And at the same time, you think that that these are your thoughts, that you're the one that's thinking this and saying these things. It's not. It's them. Now, here's what they do. So once they do this enough and they start to realize that, they have deep rapport with you and that they're taking over your brain, there's something that they will do, and they will do a big one. But before getting up to that, what they're going to do is they're going to do some small testers. Alright, so what they're trying to find out, they want to make sure first, before shifting from the love bombing phase into the devaluing phase. So what they're going to do is they're going to test you. Here's what I mean. They're going to do a couple small and then medium ones to see if you're sticking around. Because if they don't have this external hard drive basically connected, a normal person would just leave. So they're going to be rude. They're going to be disrespectful. They're going to gaslight you a little bit. They're going to do a little lie, and they're probably going to do it on something that's not that important. And they're going to want you. They're going to make it to where you catch them at a lie, but it's a little lie. It's not a big lie. And they're, oh, I'm sorry. Well, blah blah blah. So they're going to go, okay, did they totally flip out? And they're going, what the fuck, dude? Because if they did, then they're going to have to go back to mirroring you again. To want to make sure this connection is strong. So essentially, they're going to test you, and if you don't like it, they're going to go back to love bombing. They're going to go back to phase number 1 or first gear, love bombing, okay? And then what they're going to do, they're going to do another test. It's going to be a little bit more harsher, a little bit more intense. It's like a medium. They'll do a couple medium, maybe a few mediums, and they'll basically be rude. They'll be disrespectful. They'll get angry for no reason at all. And what they're doing, they're testing to see if you stick around. And if you do, then they're going to love bomb you for a little while, make you feel good again. And then what they're going to do, they're going to do something probably really out there, something weird, something strange, or something just really rude, disrespectful, and harsh. Now this is the final test. If you pass this test and you keep sticking around, then they shift into devaluing phase, and now they start gaslighting you, they start lying to you, they start manipulating you, they start playing all the negative games. Now, why are they testing you? Because they want to make sure that they have completely, utterly hijacked your entire system, and now they are running your system and they are in control of your emotions. And now they begin the devaluing phase, and they start gaslighting you, they start lying to you, they start talking behind your back, and then they have their flying monkeys start saying and doing very similar negative things that the narcissist is doing. Because it's what they call it. They call it like a house of mirror. Hold on. It's like a house of mirrors, but like a scary one. I forget the word for it. It's called a haunted house of mirrors. The reason why it's called it is number 1, they're mirroring you, and number 2, all of the flying monkeys have been mirroring you too, and they've been doing very similar things, if not the same things the narcissist has been doing the whole time. And then they all switch at the same time, the same day, or the same week, or the very next time you meet with them. All of a sudden they're accusing you of stuff, just like the narcissist. No, it's not him, it's you. If you see this stuff going on, like all of a sudden everyone turns at once, trust me, it was planned. It was triggered when the narcissist called everyone, contacted everyone, and said, okay, now go into phase 2 and start doing this. Alright, so during this phase, they will begin to gaslight you, and they will begin to use techniques like word salad. If you have not seen my word salad video, I highly, highly recommend. That is like the number 1 video that's came out in the last 90 days that everyone loves. It shows you something very clearly that the narcissists have done to you your entire life, and once you see it, you're going to be like, oh my God, that's why I got so exhausted. That's why I got so tired. That's why my brain got so confused. That's why you felt so drained. It's you know what? Go and look it up. I'll give you the title. Alright, so it's called, it's called Narcissists Used Advanced Word Salad Techniques to Destroy You, Destroying Narcissist Abuse. That was on August 29th, 2023 of this year. So go back to August 29th. And if you go to my home page, it'll be the very top video. Actually, it's probably for new users, though. So just go back to August 29th and look for Narcissists Used Advanced Word Salad Techniques to Destroy You. destroying narcissist abuse. So the reason why I know about this is I was listening to someone talking to me and I was like, what's this person doing? Like basically what I'm talking about when I say advanced word salad techniques is they'll ask you a question and then they will interrupt you before you get to finish your answer, and then they'll do it again and again and again, or they'll start a story and then interrupt themselves, change the story, and then start another story and then interrupt that story and change the story. And I noticed, like, wait a minute, this is a technique we call oh damn it, I just forgot the word. Hold on. Alright, so I learned it during NLP Ericksonian hypnosis training. They're called embedded loops. Now, embedded loops are done to, okay, oh God, I'm going to go really quick. Go watch that video. It breaks it down way better than I'm going to do here. Basically, you start a story, interrupt, start another one, interrupt, start another one, interrupt, and do it about 3, 4, 5 layers. And then what you do is you embed the positive commands like be confident, be happy, make money, or whatever it is that you want, okay? And then what you do is you complete the fourth story, then you complete the third, complete the second story, then you complete the first, and now everything is complete, and now your brain has clarity, and you have these better feelings inside, and these better thoughts and ideas. Now, what a narcissist does, they completely reverse it. And another thing they do, so when you go work with someone like me, I might use this in an effect to do some very positive things, but I'll be the one talking about the stories. What a narcissist does is they ask you questions and then they interrupt your answer. So now you started the story, that's story number 1. They interrupt it with another question. You start a story and then they interrupt. Then they ask you another question, then they interrupt. And they'll do this endlessly. They'll go way past 4 or 5. And here's the messed up thing. They never, ever, ever complete any of the stories, and they never, ever let you complete any of the stories, and your brain begins to spin and spin and spin. And then what they do is they lean forward and they whisper into your ears, everyone hates you, nobody likes you, everyone hates you. Okay, I don't want to say that too much because it's not good. And they'll also do things like tell you that you're a narcissist over, and they won't do it just once, they'll do it a lot. Now, a lot of you are thinking, no, I don't remember them saying, yeah, of course you didn't remember because they're using hypnotic techniques. Now, I caught someone doing this to me at a restaurant, and they started asking me questions to interrupt. And I say, hey, will you let me finish a goddamn fucking question? I go, and this is another thing I'll tell them. I'll say, if you ask me a question, don't interrupt me. And then I'll say, if you don't want to hear the answer, don't ask me a question. So this person kept doing this, and I was looking up thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions they had asked me. And when I looked up and I was just trying to remember everything they asked me because I wanted to complete the answer, they literally leaned over and whispered in my ear, you're a narcissist, you're a narcissist. And they said, and I looked at them and go, what the fuck did you say? Now, we were at a nice restaurant when I cussed at her like this. Now, here's the deal. It catches them off guard when you know this stuff, and they're like, whoa, shit. Because nobody knows this stuff. The only reason why I know this stuff is because I'm an NLP trainer and I'm a master hypnotherapist. These are techniques that we learn in these courses, except narcissists, they reverse everything, and they never close any of the stories or the loops. Now, this is why a lot of you will walk away from narcissist or get discarded, and you start to think, well, am I a narcissist? Am I the one that's bad? Because they're constantly doing this to you, and they're telling you that you're a narcissist, that you're a monster, that you're no good, you're a bad person. Even verbally, even if you do something right, they'll make it sound like you did it wrong, and they'll yell at you. And then they go call their other flying monkeys. You're not going to believe this person bought me a birthday gift, and I totally yelled at them. I said it was the wrong color, and I made them feel like shit. And now they think they're a bad person because I said, how could you do this to me? You're doing this on purpose. And so what they're doing, they're trying to put it into your mind that you're a bad person, that you're a narcissist, that you're no good, blah, blah. I don't want to say that stuff anymore, but I think you're getting the message. Go watch the advanced word salad video right after this one. I'll tell you why. When you catch them doing it, when you call them on their shit, it shocks the living fuck out of them. Now, here's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to deny it. They're going to go into, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? I don't know what that is. They're going to play stupid. And like, no, it's all in your head. They're going to do all the narcissistic tactics. Do not back down. Shove it in their fucking face. Say, I know exactly what you're doing. You're doing fucking word salad. You're doing this. You're doing that, etc., etc. It will freak them out. Alright, so by the way, word salad is literally a form of what they call witchcraft. It's a way to get into your head. And if you feel like you're tranced out, yeah, because that's what word salad does. It trances you out, and that's why they do it. So now you know what witchcraft is, or at least a form of it, and now you know what mirror magic is. It's when they mirror you. If you pay attention to people do this naturally, but a narcissist will overdo it. Their body language will become your body language. Their tone will become your tone. The words become your words. And you're looking at this person slowly becoming you, because they're listening and paying attention to everything you're doing to become just like you, so they can hijack your system. So number one, they hijack your system by love bombing and mirroring you, okay? The purpose of hijacking your system is to turn you against you by them becoming your external hard drive, and they start to say, no, apple pie is horrible. No, you want to be an artist? Oh, that's a bad idea. You don't want to do that. Oh, you want to buy that car? You know what? You shouldn't buy that car. You should buy this car over here. And they'll get you to buy stuff that you never wanted. They'll get you to drop out of college, or get you to change your degree to something you don't want to do. And then you'll spend 3 or 4 years getting a degree in something you fucking hate. And that's the thing. That's what they'll do. They'll find out what you hate and convince you, like, yeah, you should do this over here. Next thing you know, you hate life. You can't stand it. And on top of it, you're devaluing yourself. And again, that's the number one goal of hijacking your system. That's the number one goal of love bombing. That's why they're love bombing you, so they can hijack you and then devalue you. So what they're doing is they're turning you against you. And next thing you know, they've rewired your system to where now you hate yourself. And that's what a lot of you felt. You literally thought you were a horrible person, didn't you? In fact, you got to a point where you almost hated yourself, or maybe you did. So let's say you loved going to the beach. Well, anytime you even mention the beach, they're like, oh God, that again? Or let's say you go to the beach with them. They'll be the most miserable fucker on the planet, because they're trying to make you miserable. They're trying to make you feel bad. You connect that with the beach, you feel bad. And then it gets to the point where anytime you even think about going to the beach, you feel bad, like, oh, I don't want to go to the beach. So now you're not going to the beach. You're not living your life. So here's the deal. You will go through a phase, and this might last you for 2-3 years or longer if you don't get therapy, okay? It got me for about 2 years. They basically, when they're devaluing you, what they're doing is they're destroying you. They are literally dehumanizing you. They are completely disconnecting you from your emotions. So every time you go to think about something you like, you get a sting. You get pain. You get a negative thought. You hear them saying, oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, you're a horrible monster. And now you're doing it to yourself. The whole goal of this is to get you to completely leave your emotional system. And now you're stuck up in your brain, and you're overthinking, completely stuck in your logical system, disconnected and dissociated from your emotions and feelings and 5 senses. And this is why life seems dead. All of a sudden you feel dead inside. You literally feel empty, like there's nothing to live for. There's no reason. Here's what I'm really leading up to. You felt like they stole something from you. You felt like they stole your spirit, your energy, and your soul. It is only an illusion. It is not real. And here's the other side of that. For a moment, a week, a month, maybe a little bit longer, they believe that they became you. And that's why they picked you, because they noticed you had a great personality. People seemed to like you. You had a light about you. You had good energy. Because, see, that's what they want. They want attention from other people. So if they think by taking over your values, your beliefs, and becoming you will do that, then they will take what you have. And then they believe this. This is the worst part. Now, at this point, they're like, okay, so I copied this person. I became this person. Now you're like, well, why would they do that? Because they don't have any soul. They don't have a spirit. They have no persona. Literally, they have no personality. So they have to steal someone else's. This is why they're constantly copying their target. And if you're wondering, well, why do they only like target like one person at a time and not everybody? How come they don't like devalue everyone? Because they're not going after everyone's personality. They're just going after yours. So then what happens is once they believe they've hijacked it, now they think, well, I must destroy this person. So there's two things that they're going to do. Number one, they're going to try to completely and utterly and totally turn you against you to where you literally become an empty shell of yourself, to where you're a complete wreck. You're an emotionally empty person. You've completely given up on your dreams, and everyone looks at you like, wow, what a loser, what a failure, like that poor person. And now, see what they're doing is they're trying to get you to not be you. Because what happens is if they take you on your personality, and everyone's like, well, wait a minute, you're just like this person over there. So once they devalue you to the point of destruction, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm not like them at all. I'm like, yeah, you're right. They're really depressed. I never noticed how depressed they were. And now they're looking at the narcissist. Wow, you're really confident, or you're really upbeat, or and all this great stuff. Well, that's just an illusion on both sides of the fence. Not only for you, but for them too. Because eventually, their reality comes crashing down. So part of that total destruction is they're trying to see if they can get you to kill yourself, because if you're dead, well, then there's no competition. Nobody can say, hey man, you become just like so and so. Well, you're not around anymore to stand up for yourself or just be yourself. And therefore they're like, what are you talking about? They're not even here. And just like the narcissist, the malignant narcissist who goes around talking public talks at universities about narcissist abuse, he says, yeah, and if they can get away with it, they'll kill you. By the way, if you've actually spent any amount of time with narcissists, hanging out, going to dinner, etc., I guarantee you they've put stuff in your food. I guarantee it. They've probably drugged you once or twice or more. They've probably put poison in your food or something to give you upset stomach, etc., etc. If you realize someone's a narcissist, even if they tell you, oh yeah, I just got diagnosed. See, they're using it like, it's okay because I'm admitting it. What they're doing is like, hey, if they do something to you and you accuse them, like, well, hey, I told you I was a narcissist. That's your fault. And they'll say it's your fault. If you realize someone's a narcissist, get away now. Close that door, slam the door, lock it. Tell them to go to hell, and don't ever be nice to them, or they'll keep coming back. So remember the part when I said now, you can turn this against them, and you don't actually have to do anything to them at all? So here's the deal. Because they've connected with you on such a deep level, if you turn this around, you begin to love yourself, you begin to love bomb yourself, you begin to lift yourself up, you gain your confidence back, you gain your joy back, you gain your happiness back. Because of the dichotomous way, the either or mentality, either you're happy or I'm happy, either you're confident or I'm confident, the minute they start seeing you rise, they will fucking fall. They will, their whole life will fall to hell. Yeah, that didn't sound right. Their whole life will completely and utterly collapse. And I'm not going to go into it in this video, but it's that dichotomous way that their brain works. Okay, either you or me. If you start getting happy, they start getting sad. You start making money, they start getting into poverty, and on and on and on. And here's the deal. It's not because of anything you do. It's because of how they connected with you. It's like they have like this wire connected to you. If you start lifting your life up, their life completely gets destroyed. And you didn't do a damn thing to them. Alright, so here's the other thing. The number one thing a narcissist is absolutely terrified is feeling their emotions. They do not want to deal with their emotions at all, not even a little tiny bit. That's why they're narcissists, because they've blocked that side of their system off. They've locked themselves into their logical brain. When you start to open up, it forces them to open up, and that is their worst fucking nightmare. All of a sudden you start feeling happiness and joy and love and peace. Well, what happens with them, they start opening up too, and they're like, no, because it opens them up to all the trauma and all the negative emotions they've experienced their whole life, and all that stuff comes rushing forward, and now they have to deal. So number one, no, they did not steal your spirit. They did not steal your soul. Number two, if you're an energy healer, they did not steal your energy healing abilities. That is a complete fucking illusion. Okay, all they did was disconnect you from that side of your system and you lost connection with it. So you have to go back over to your emotions and feelings and begin to love them so you can reconnect with them. You got to look in the mirror and say, I love you. You have to like literally look in the mirror and say, I love you. You're beautiful. Your eyes are beautiful. You have to love bomb yourself. You have to hold yourself. You got to cry with yourself. You've got to nurture yourself. You got to hold those parts inside of you and cry with them. Allow them to cry. Allow them to feel guilt and shame and all the negative emotions that come up. And all of a sudden they start to trust you again. And now you gain that intuition back. You gain that spiritual connection back. And all of a sudden, boom, your life turns back on. And here's the really cool thing. You become happier than you've ever been in your life. You become more social than you've ever been. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to be like overnight in one day, but I promise you, because that's where I'm at right now. It took me a little over 2 years to get here, but man, it was like, I'm more confident now than I've ever been in my life. I'm more comfortable talking to people than I've ever been in my entire life. I laugh more. I enjoy myself more. Life is actually better now than before I met that narcissist. Number one, because I have more confidence now. Part of that is because I started to figure out what they were doing, and then I could look back. See, here's the thing that you may not realize. All your life, narcissists have been coming after you because they saw that you were an empath, that you had this light, this love about you that other people don't, and they're jealous, so they want to knock you down. So you kept getting hurt, but you didn't. You just thought, well, people are just mean to me. There must be something about me, because narcissists were trying to convince you of that. Sometimes your therapist is a fucking narcissist. Get away from those people. So here's the deal. These people were lying to you. You were the good person. That's why they did it in the first place. See, when you start seeing their tactics, like the word salad stuff, the advanced word salad, when you start knowing what gaslighting is, what it means when they put you in a third party, all of a sudden when they do it, you're like, oh, this is a fucking narcissist. Literally, the last person that just did this to me, I leaned forward and said, fuck you, motherfucker. You're a demonic narcissist. They go, what? I go, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't even try to deny it. Here's my point. You start seeing them do that advanced word salad stuff that I teach. You just get up, you block them on your phone, never talk to them again. Life starts to become easier. You start to see what's going on, and all of a sudden now you can fly. Hey, this is Mike Colleen at MikeColleen.com. Remember, if you've liked this video, click subscribe, click the like button, and go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. You can click that and make a donation of $5 or whatever you'd like. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll tell you what, another thing, I'm going to actually either leave a link or at the end of the video images where you can click on the advanced word salad. Alright guys, I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless you all.